out there. Say, I'm reporting from beautiful Santa Cruz, California. Some of that earlier footage was from Natural Bridges State Park. It's at the end of West Cliff Drive here. And I also got a couple of shots of some of the spraying, the high altitude aerosolized spraying program that's going on, the geoengineering, weather modification, chemtrailing program that's going on, that's undeniable now. And when I hear people still try to deny it, it just, I have to go and Google, chemtrail images and chemtrail spraying images and show them, look, is this normal? I mean, you remember seeing this when you were a kid? Even people older than me, and I'm in my upper 50s now. Just last night I was talking to a guy in a coffee clutch here in Santa Cruz, and he was in denial, and he seemed like an aware kind of guy, but he acted like he never heard of a false flag operation or nothing, and it's kind of annoying, to have to repeatedly go over these things with people. But people that are in the know, I mean, it's like it gets wearisome to continually have to defend the truth and be labeled a conspiracy theorist or something, when really you're a logical, factual realist. You just want to know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You want to know that there's evil people in high places, and that they do really evil things, and that really, what we're experiencing is an unprecedented, brutal assault on humanity in a very maniacal, diabolical manner. And they're killing us in a myriad of different ways. The poisonous food, poisonous drink, through austerity, artificial scarcity, where we got people dying out in the cold here in America, the land of milk and honey, known around the world for its opulence and prosperity. And we've got our own native sons and daughters dying out in the cold. That's the reality. And then we got our leaders, these idiots, acting like they're the good guys, they're the benevolent ones. They start all these dubious wars, and now in retrospect, I mean, how many hundreds of thousands of people or millions of people died in the Gulf Wars, in Iraq, and all this. And I mean, and now everybody's supposed to admit that was an utter failure. It was useless. It was anti-progress. It was a horrific thing. And now we've got 22 veterans a day taking their own lives, and this, 15, 16 trillion dollar debt, the national debt. I mean, everybody has to admit, and people are starting to really get it across party lines. I think they're just almost, their hand is being forced by the light of truth, just descending more and more and more, and it's harder and harder and harder for the dark people, for the evil people, the wicked people, to hide. And so they're having to come out, and they're very unhappy. This whole spirit of Satan, it knows its time is short, because it knows there's a science behind these things that I'm conveying and other people convey, that there's nothing you can do to stop knowledge. It just keeps building and building. And we've kept the historical records. That's why technology is at the state it is today, because it's an accumulation over millennia. So it just didn't happen overnight, but it's retained. And the evidence is the high technology that we have today. But it also goes for, knowing the truth from the lies, and, understanding that truth has a definite definition, and lies have a definite definition, and there are people that will lie. That's just the way it is. And therefore, if you believe the lie, you are deceived. You're not a bad person, you're not an immoral person, you're not a stupid person. You've just been told a lie from somebody you believe. It's that simple to fall into this category of the deceived. So, anytime I talk like I'm judging anybody, I'm not. I mean, I too know that, my life is a paradox. I've got my own personal battles to wage. And, we all have our own demons to fight. So I don't judge I don't condemn anybody, but we need to judge each other enough to where we can, say, look, let's all be honest and admit that in order to get to this bottom of this thing, we're going to have to experience some big changes. There's going to be growing pains. And we've got to figure out exactly, precisely, specifically what kind of a world, what kind of a civilization, what kind of a society we want to leave our children. Do we want them to be free? Do we want them to be safe and secure and prosperous? To have joy and find happiness and contentment in their lives? Of course we do. Of course we do. And we have to understand that it's not at all unreasonable. In fact, it's very reasonable to presume, to assume that our parents, the divine, the Most High God, our owner, wants those same things for us. And how much more? I mean, this is the one we need to judge ourselves against. You know, it's not about any human being judging another human. We're all equal. We're all sinners. We've all fallen short of the glory of God. We're all in need of a Savior. And, you know, this is what Jesus brought us. You know, the blood of Jesus is very potent. It's able to cover a multitude of sins. So this is where we all have to turn at the end of the day when we you know, stumble and fall in our lives. And we enter those dark spots, which starts in our heart, in our mind, harboring the wrong thoughts and feelings. And then it comes out our mouths, and then we act out on it. It comes out in our deeds, our behavior. And it's a real downer. It's a real bummer. I mean, you know, nobody wants to be, you know, a small-minded automaton, just, you know, sent to the earth to serve others and be a slave, and, you know, don't think about it, don't question it, just go along with the oppression, you know, let things get worse and worse. I mean, this is where we can trace so much of the negativity we experience in life. I often feel like I'm experiencing about 10% of what I could be. And you know I'm not alone. Whether people, I think everybody else realizes it or not, on a subliminal, subconscious level, there's a nagging pain that says there's something wrong. So there's something wrong here, it's not right. And it's not just me, but it's a collective problem. And it's sapping my joy. It's taking something real from me, something good. It's not letting me have satisfaction and contentment and peace and joy and safety and security and freedom and liberty, okay? And if we admit that, then that's a big start. And then we can start exploring what exactly, specifically, that entity is. And from my experience in exploring this and researching this subject, I discovered that it is the monetary-based reality that we're born into. It's the fact that we're born beholden to the same gaggle of thugs I was talking about earlier, this New World Order class. Now we got the Pope in town preaching, you know, this idea that human beings interacting on the earth are messing it up. I mean, this stuff is, it's lower than, you know, second grade level mentality as far as I'm concerned. It really is. I mean, the science isn't there. I mean, where were these people when the dinosaurs went extinct, okay? It's nonsense. In fact, environment is one arenas humanity has made striving real progress in. I mean, I've pointed out before that the air in San Jose, just over the hill here about 20, 30 miles from where I am, was brown in the valley, literally brown and toxic before catalytic converters. And this made all the difference in the world. So, you know, and then these same people feeding us this line are the ones that own the patents to all the clean, renewable, you know, perpetual energy sources out there. They're the ones suppressing this technology because they need control. This is what they use the monetary system for. You know, they try to teach us, oh, baloney, it's all innocent, you know, it's pragmatic to love money. I mean, that's success, that's prosperity, that's wealth, that's riches, that'll bring you happiness, that's everything. This is the line. So it's only logical to love money. So go out, don't worry whose toes you step on, what you do, forget your conscience, it's secondary. It's not gonna pay your rent, okay, your conscience. So put it on the back burner and just go with the flow, man. Just jump in there, you know, and serve the beast system. You know, serve these money lovers, these money masters, and serve them faithfully, and just, you know, let them slowly wipe you out. You know, I was talking about ways they're wiping out this brutal assault on humanity. And it's been pointed out, Alex Jones pointed it out the other day, and he's kind of mad at this Lord Christopher Monckton over in England. I mean, the guy knows everything about this weather modification, but, you know, he's acting like, oh, it's all, you know, this depopulation agenda, you know, this is what it's all about. At the end of the day, that's it. They have fingered humanity. That is the culprit. It's just humanity at large. You know, while they're big fat hypocrites too. So I mean, it goes on and on and on why these people are like just bratty, little, rotten, spoiled children, hypocrites. I mean, they're diabolical, you can imagine. I mean, these people are literally like demons, or they're tapped into that same force, whatever that spiritual force is that, you know, all goodness is anathema to. That, you know, this is what they've tapped into, and they don't care. You know, this is why they rule over humanity, or this is why they have over the ages, is because they're willing to step outside the bounds of conscience, common decency, you know, the golden rule, and to do things that you and I wouldn't do. It wouldn't matter how much money somebody offered us, okay? We're just not going to do it. But there is, and we have to admit, there is this group out there that will do it. And it's not, you just can't say, oh, it's the Zionists, it's the Illuminati, it's the New World Order crowd, you know, it's these blue bloods and these aristocrats and the robber barons and all this, the money printing class. Okay, it's not just them. And, you know, we have to understand that this is a big problem and humanity is a big issue. And if you want to know how to solve it, I can tell you the only way I know of, okay, short of it, and everybody knows that, ever listen to any of my videos, I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe he's going to do what he said he's going to do, just like it's written, okay? He predicted all the events of the days leading up to the end of the age, not the end of the world. It's just that we're ending one age. This whole age has been like a dark age, and we're entering a new age whereby God, literally, the Spirit of truth, is going to be ruling over humanity. That's the Spirit of Jesus. That's like might as well be just Jesus Christ sitting on a throne in Jerusalem and ruling over the affairs of men with no other government than that. So we'll have to depend on our own conscience to, you know, to survive and get by in a world like that. And we've got to be ready ourselves for that world. And we've got to ask ourselves specifically what things will be deleted from that